Who do you look up to? If not you, then who? If you're not going to do it, who's going to do it? I'll be honest, I have not been as focused on social media maybe for the last year.
Once you solve your money problems, you're left with problems that money can't solve. I asked Hormozi one question.
Don't ask him a faith question.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I said, if you're...
The majority of our lives we spend working. In the business world specifically, your brand will only go as far as your actual credibility. I think I just have to do more in business. And the only way to gain expertise is by accomplishing more.
Ryan, how you going?
I'm good, man. Good to be here.
Thanks for having us here, man, in your studios in Vegas, man.
Yeah.
Now, we've been following each other for a couple of years now. You're half Asian, aren't you, at least?
Yeah,
right?
I'm half Filipino, half white.
Yeah, I'm just full South Korean.
My wife is from Korea.
Is she?
She was born in Seoul, so she's halfy too. She's half white, half Korean.
Got a feeling Jackie Chan somewhere in there, but he's Chinese.
There we go.
What you do, I admire, because you are a business guy, you're a family guy, and you're a man of God.
Yeah.
I actually, when I first found you, recognized that you didn't talk about it as much as you do now.
Right.
In Australia, sometimes if you profess your faith, that can affect your business.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially like 5 years ago when it was super woke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you watch my old YouTube videos, it could come up. Once I started podcasting in 2021, it started to come up more frequently because it was like a more natural way. Like if I'm just doing a YouTube video about, here's the top 5 things, like you'd have to like actively think how to incorporate faith into it. Whereas it just comes up organically in natural conversation. So that's kind of what happened for the first bunch of years. And then I started praying during my events and all these things, and just because I felt led to do it. And then eventually I was at a WealthCon. That's our big event that we hold every year. And this girl comes up to me. This was over 2 years ago. And she goes, Ryan, I really look up to you as somebody who's like bold in their faith. And I wasn't even as bold as I am today. Yeah. And she goes, I got a question for you. Who do you look up to?
Good question.
And I was like, that is a good question. And I started to think about it. And off the top of my head, I was like, honestly, if you're talking like entrepreneur, like influencer type people, I was like, I can't say anyone. And to me, that was the realization. Cause it's like, I have tons of Christian friends. They're not famous. There's a lot of pastors that I see on social media that I love and
But
respect.
they're not business people.
They're not business people. Yeah. And it just clicked on me. And God was like, that's the point. And then this phrase came to me that is now our slogan over, at Tentmakers, which is, if not you, then who? And God was like, dude, if you're not going to do it, who's going to do it? You have influence. You have massive events. You've been doing this, living this life for so long. If you're not going to do it, then who is? I was like, wow, that's a big responsibility. Like, I guess I am. And so we just started going more hardcore at it. I started having worship services at my events. Like I'd bring in freaking rock concerts and pastors. I was like, all right, if we're going to do it, I only know how to do this one way. Yeah. Like all in.
Yep. I understand that.
And so we started doing that at events. I then started our nonprofit, which at that time was Wealthy Kingdom. Now we've rebranded it to Tentmakers. And, we started launching these Bible studies that I was already running across the world. Last year we had 3,000 meetings. Yeah. I started holding workshops here to give like these Christian entrepreneurs, what I would call, because I've charged for it, like thousands of dollars for one event for basically nothing, just to get them that caliber of education to grow their businesses. And, it's been super fulfilling doing that, with the nonprofit. But it's also translated into social media.
Yeah. I respect that, man. I believe in 4 Ps at the moment. So there's purpose, people, projects, profit.
Yeah.
And you got those 4 working together. Some people confuse a project as a purpose, but a purpose never expires, right? Once you solve your money problems, you're left with problems that money can't solve.
Yep.
At Hormozi's event, I was just recently at, that's why we're here. I had a woman come up to me after I asked Hormozi a really deep question. I asked Hormozi one question.
Don't ask him a faith question.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I said, if your soul had KPIs.
Oh, boy. Okay. What was it? How did this go?
Interesting. I got filmed stuff. We'll wait to see it comes out. If your soul had KPIs, what would they be? Are you on track? And he's like, I don't believe in soul. Like very logical. I think. Yeah. That's an interesting thing. Profit alone, some people have a relationship with money and they're like, ew. But it's because money's not the devil. You need money. It's a survival thing, right? As well as a thriving thing. So that's something I wanted to ask you about too. Is like you're a legit business dude. There's a lot of influencers. We've got a lot of followers that aren't credible at all. You know, they just do a dance or they say lots of controversial things. That relationship with money people have, do you find that sometimes people struggle with that?
Once you've achieved many of your goals, you realize that like it's still not fulfilling. None of them fulfill me in the way Christ does. And, you know, his peace transcends all understanding. And so, you know, for me, when I look at it today, my main goal is now eternal ROI. So instead of looking at it from a worldly perspective of like, oh, well, you know, let's get to this goal. Let's have this exit. Let's get this net worth. Let's get this passive income. Like those are normal worldly goals. It's like, man, you know, the Bible tells us that we're storing up treasures in heaven every day. Okay. If heaven is the eternal place I'm going to be, wouldn't it make sense to like build my wealth up there? And like, how do you do that? And the Bible's starts to give you some clues about what it looks like to store up treasures in heaven. And so it kind of just shifts your thinking of like, it's not that that diminishes my needs that I have today. True. I still have to provide for my family. I still have to help those in need. I still provide for my parents. You know, my employees depend on me to come up with new ideas and to innovate. So it's like, none of that goes away. And I actually think that all those things play a role in what your treasures in heaven look like.
Yeah, agree. You have a lot of numbers in America. You have what do you call them? W-2s.
Yep.
We don't have these in Australia. It's like
W-2 is just a normal worker.
Yep, W-2s, and then you had something for self-employed, which is
1099.
1099.
Yep.
When someone goes, I'm an entrepreneur.
I mean, that's a good question. I never even thought, like, what is the definite? I mean,
it's good to riff on.
So, like, take a realtor, for example, right? Most realtors are solopreneurs, like they don't have employees, they work for themselves, whatever, right? And I tell them, I'm like, honestly, I don't know that you have a business. You're just self-employed.
Yeah. A business owner can buy someone else's business and buy all the systems, and they took none of the risks that the first person who made all that business up straight away. The best definition of being godlike is being a creator.
Oh, yeah.
Because we give life to dead things.
Yeah.
Like we come up with intangible assets in our mind all the time. The next product, it all exists up here before it exists out here.
Yeah. I tell this, you know, at our Kingdom events, I'm like, hey, look, as Christians, we should have the most creative, most innovative, the best service. Everything about our business should be the best. And it's like, well, why is that? Well, because we have the Holy Spirit living inside of us. We have the same power, the same creative power, the same Almighty living inside of us that raised Jesus from the grave, that healed the sick, that raised the dead, that, you know, produced miracles, all these things. The Holy Spirit still lives inside of us today. So why wouldn't we have better ideas than everyone else? I have found that as I get more bold, my business gets better. And the reason being, you attract people who end up wanting to do business with you.
And align with you.
They're in alignment with you. Also, I just believe God rewards boldness. Now, it may not be financially, but he blesses it nonetheless. And you know you're living in obedience when you're being bold. And I don't watch social media a lot, but somebody said, dude, this person's like criticizing you for like being bold about like, you know, saying you're using it to grow your business. They're not wrong. I go like, I absolutely believe that being bold will help my business. I don't think it's going to hurt my business. I think it can only help. When you're doing God's will, it only can help you. And by the way, like I said, that may not mean financially. It may mean that, you know what, God reveals that you shouldn't be in this business or in this partnership or whatever, because you're starting to get more activated and realize that. And I'm like, they're not wrong. Like, I think it should help my business and help my life by being more bold.
As a brand guy, I think it's a really smart play because you're looking to align with the right people, not the most people.
Yeah.
You want the most people of the right people, right? And one of the best ways we do that in brand is to be able to make our values bold. So if you're bringing up, I'm faith man, I believe in these principles, and we're talking about that, and someone goes, oh, Ryan, you're just leveraging off, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, I'm not leveraging. I'm just actually trying to create alignment and visibility for people to go, we're your people.
Yeah.
It's a reframe.
So this is the reason why a lot of Christians don't want to get bold.
Yeah.
Number one, they are afraid it could negatively hurt their business. And what that means is basically the bottom line. right? And by the way, being bold can negatively hurt my bottom line. I'm not even saying by being bold is going to make me more money by any means. I'm just saying, though, it will be better. It will be for my good by being bold, one way or the other. But, they're afraid that negatively it could impact them financially. They're afraid that also, too, that by now putting themselves out there, they're going to open themselves up for more criticism, which is also true. Because guess what? The moment you're going to go be out there and be bold, you better be living right. And all your biggest mistakes are going to be criticized, and we all got them. You go look at the stories of David and all these people. They screwed up a lot, and everyone knows it. I just started to think about it logically, and I was like, man, the majority of our lives we spend working. We spend a third of our life sleeping. We spend over a third of our life working, and then the rest is family, fun, whatever. I was like, and we try to eliminate faith from the workplace. We try not to separate the two.
We compartmentalize, yeah.
It's like, wouldn't that be the opposite? Wouldn't this be the perfect time to evangelize and create disciples and actually serve and share Jesus with the people that you are with the most?
Yeah, 2 words there is like alignment and integration. Some people separate the two. It's like, I can't have both. But how can you be married and single? How can you be Christian and atheist? How can you be a worker but not? You can't divorce the two.
Yeah.
And some people might be hearing this going, oh, well, you're just it's not appropriate in some things. So, no, but it doesn't stop you from the way how you treat people.
Yeah.
It's the one place where you can let that shine and be bold in that way, right? That's what you're saying.
It's the same thing too. Like, in James, he talks about faith and works. And this is like a thing that Christians have debated about forever. They're like, oh, well, works don't save you. Faith saves you. And though that's true, James says, but faith without works is dead. Your works prove your faith. Like, they can't be divorced. They go together. It's like, if I have great faith, I am going to produce great works. I can't claim to have great faith but have no works. It means I have no real faith at all. He even says in James, he's like, if somebody claims to have faith but has no works, it's like somebody looking in the mirror, looking at themselves, turning away, and immediately forgetting what they look like. It'd be so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what a lot of Christians don't realize is like, they're all the same.
One of my purposes with what we do with our media businesses and stuff is to make what people stand for stand out. And if you look at what people consume, we call it the feed, what we scroll through, and that's what people feed off, literally what pigs go to feed. And what I see on the internet is a mixture of charlatans. There's a lot of fakery, but the ones that you really want to see are usually not the loudest. They're not the boldest. They're not the most visible. And that's a problem to me.
Yeah, those people need to get out there.
Yeah, one of the things that I felt called to do, and I got prophesied over very young as a kid, is that you're going to whisper in the ears of kings and queens. And I've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Politicians to celebrities to multi-millionaires and billionaires in Australia. And I can tell you this much. I know that there are people out there that have a message. They need the skill set that you and I have. Broadcast it more. But they're terrified of what could happen because of all the things we just mentioned. How much better would the world be if you had the real ones that are accessible?
Yeah, and I mean, that goes back to when the girl asked me, like, who do you look up to? And it's like, there's plenty of Christian entrepreneurs doing it right, killing it, billionaires, doing way better than me. But we don't know them.
We don't know them.
And it's like, that's a problem.
We do naturally look toward our seniors and someone to proxy off. You'd rather be, if you didn't have a father, you're going to have to find a father figure. Right? We all have that need to look up to somebody. Practically, you're nailing it. You've done it for many years, been a great admirer of it. Socials and all that stuff. Once you find your message, right? Let's assume for a second, people got kicked up the butt right now. You need to be more bold, right? You need to find your message. You're here for a mission, right? But I don't know what to do, Ryan. I don't know where to start. Socials change, right? And socials have changed, man, a lot. Platforms have changed, algorithms have changed. It's less about follower account now, more around interest-based topics. So don't feel bad if your videos used to get, our videos used to get way more views on Instagram than lately. I know
mine too.
You probably feel that. But less insecure about that and more about the quality of those views. What have you seen recently? What's your kind of wheelhouse playbook at the moment for your approach to be able to get that out there?
You know what's interesting is, I started doing content during COVID. And that's when I started YouTube, TikTok. I had Instagram before that, but I didn't like make content seriously. And content changed my life. I remember I started doing TikToks and nobody was teaching how to do TikToks. And then eventually Instagram did Reels. And so I remember I was one of the first business guys that was really doing short form at that kind of level. And now it's just like, it's a normal thing. But when I look at the evolution of what's worked the last 5 years, it's just changing every year. I mean, back then, everyone was dancing on TikTok and that's like what I was trying. And then, I'm doing these talking head videos. And then all of a sudden the big subtitles became a thing. And then it became podcast clips. And then it became more raw, candid things. And it's just always changing. And so you got to adjust with what the algorithm wants, but, still staying true to your message and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Even on YouTube, I've changed what I've done. It's like I used to do 10-minute topic-based videos. Then I did 2-3 hour podcasts. And then, now I'm doing like 20-minute solo videos. But here's the thing, I guess. At the end of the day, if you're going to do it, and if you're going to do anything, start a business, start building a brand, anything, you got to first understand why you're doing it. The purpose must exceed the cost. Because the cost of building a brand is extremely high.
It is high.
From financial, time, energy, the emotional side of it, watching the views, haters, like there's a massive cost to deciding to build a brand. So if the purpose behind it isn't big enough, if it's just like, if this makes me an extra, X amount of money, then it'll have been a success. Well, then you're going to look at other things that cost less that could make you that money. And it's like, this social media thing ain't worth it. Like this takes years to do, and I could go get the same result doing this. And so you won't do it. I'll be honest. I have not been as focused on social media maybe for the last year. And the reason being, you only have so much time and energy and capacity. And so for me, the focus the last year has actually been in growing Tentmakers.
Yep.
And it's also been in growing my paid advertising skills.
Yeah.
Because I spent like my first 3-4 years, once I got on social media, just only focused on organic and like, built that, did good, all those things. But then I just started to realize there was a diminishing return because it's becoming increasingly harder to come up with the viral videos and all these things. And so I'm like, honestly, it's not that it's not worth it, but I think I can get a more squeeze doing paid ads and focusing energy on that, because I kind of already have an established brand.
Yeah. That's what I was getting to, and I want to encourage you with that. So what I've seen from your journey is that you've done what a lot of your colleagues have done. I see you in the same category as the Cody Sanchez's. There's kind of like A, B, and C's of our categories of our industry. Brand takes years to build.
Yep.
It's like real estate, right? It's you bought a house and you're looking at the value of it next week. You're like, what's the return on it?
Not going to do anything.
If you're going to build a brand, you can expect
Years.
3 to 4 years.
At least. To your point, I haven't seen many new business people like really explode. The last guy I saw, for me anyways, was Dan Martell.
Yeah. He just exploded. Yeah.
Dan came to my office 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember. And he had been trying to get a hold of me because I was just bigger. And he's like, bro, like, I want to get on the podcast. So I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. There was literally like 4 people of my friends who are like, bro, you got to like meet Dan. You got to meet, he wants to meet you. I'm like, who's Dan? Like, I don't know who this guy is. And finally, one of my good friends was like, no, Ryan, this is Dan. Coordinate it. You guys just have him come on your show. You guys are going to love each other. And so finally he came on, and I felt like such a dummy after, after interview. I'm like, dang, dude, you've done like crazy stuff. He's like, bro, I know. I'm like trying to blow my brand up. I have all the business accolades and all this stuff. And then we became great friends. He's spoken at my events many times. In fact, actually, he was just here 3 weeks ago. We were throwing axes together at my mastermind. He was even saying at the mastermind, he goes, bro, when I came here 2-3 years ago, same operation that you see today, he's like, that showed me I was just not, that's why I hadn't succeeded yet. I didn't have a team. I wasn't taking it serious. And so he's like, I just want to credit you and give you some inspiration along with others who have like inspired me to like, oh, this is what it takes to do it. And then, now he's just absolutely destroyed it, but that's the cost. People think it happened recently. He had been working on it for like 3-4 years. He's like, bro, I I've been making YouTube videos for like 3 years now. I have 50,000 subscribers. This is a high-level business guy.
Yeah. Hormozi said this yesterday. Do you know what he did? This is really cool. He goes, hands up here if you came to this workshop and you only heard of me last week. No one put their hands up. How about 1 month? One person put their hand up. 1 year, heaps of people put their hand up. Over 2 years, everyone put their hand up. And it took that long
for them to buy something.
Yep. And to cash in that brand. And that's exactly you're doing right now. The focus needs to shift eventually away from the brand building because you're building a community of trust, and eventually you need something to offer. Or you're just, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like literally, what are we doing? It could be with our families, it could be working out, it could be playing golf.
Yep.
But like, I think that's a really good point at stages. So
yeah, for sure.
I think brand building is like buying a house, investing in that property. Expect no ROI for maybe, I don't know what the yields are here.
Yep.
But like 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Saying the direct marketing, advertising days is dire. It's really dire without the brand.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's really hard.
No one knows you.
5 years ago, you could sell a 10K product to a stranger with pretty good success, but you're a stranger danger now if you don't have any trust at all.
Yeah, I agree.
So investing in brand right now, if you are credible as a business owner, you've got something literally off. You're one of the good guys, good gals, is a long-term play has unlocked 20x ROAS, 10x ROAS, because he invested into it 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's why 84 people come across the world for a 5K investment to go on lots of other things. But someone else who's got way more money than him and us all combined can put a workshop down the street.
No one wants it.
And no one wants to go to it.
And I've met a lot of people like that in different groups I'm in. And it's just a different skill set to go and build a brand and make content and all these things. And back to the point. So I met Alex in 2021, well before he was big. I remember I started to see some of his stuff. And at that time, dude, he had like literally 20,000 YouTube subscribers. And I go, this guy's like super smart. And then I found out he was in Vegas. And I was like, I got to meet this guy. And so we got on a Zoom and we just chatted and talked. And then, man, this was years ago. He came on the podcast and him and Layla. And then they spoke at one of my events. And all this for free, by the way.
Wow.
So what a blessing for me, right? And I'm always super grateful to them for doing that. But like even for him, he had been making content even before that for like 4 or 5 years. And then he starts messing around during COVID and other stuff too after selling Gym Launch. And then finally it really kind of takes off, I don't know, 2021, 2022, right? And, so even his was like so many years in the making. And here's what I'll also say for anyone who wants to build a brand. I've thought about this a lot. And this is why like I'm now focused on paid ads and everything else more too. In the business world specifically, your brand will only go as far as your actual credibility. I think I just have to do more in business. Like, I don't think there's anything else. I know how to make good content. I know, but I'm going to be capped by my actual expertise. And the only way to gain expertise is by accomplishing more. And I've watched it happen with all these guys. It's like, okay, take Alex, since we're talking about him. He was a nobody until Gym Launch sold. And then he leveraged that big track record event to build everything else that's been built to this point.
I call it the credibility tree trunk. You got the tree trunk, and that's the thing you're known for. So imagine Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
So he's known for what? He's a Michelin star chef.
Yeah.
You got to be a badass to do that. So there's tree branches.
Yeah.
But if you just saw him as a celebrity chef and go, well, what the hell are we listening? Is he just an actor or something, right?
Yeah.
No, he's a Michelin star chef.
No, he's legit, right?
He's legit. So that is a good question. Credibility versus relevance.
And that's kind of where I've gotten to the point of even when I tell people, because even like take any big guy you really like. It's like, we talked about Dan earlier. Dan's had multiple 9-figure exits. Look at Patrick Bet-David. Look, Pat's been doing this for like over a decade now. It's only been recently that he's now like really on the political scene now. And like he's growing in front of like all audiences. And it coincides that he sold his insurance business for like 200 plus million a couple of years ago. It's not a coincidence. You get that credibility, you get that capital, and now the time, because you're not working in that business anymore, it gives you the ability to really take it. So for me anyways, I've kind of like focused less on trying to innovate organic content because I'm like already at, to me anyways, my ceiling in terms of this is who I am, this is what I've accomplished to this point. And if I don't accomplish more in the business world, there's no reason for new people to listen to me.
No, that's really real. To your point, this is what I was saying. I want the guys who are credible to be seen more.
Yeah.
Not the people who are seen more, who aren't credible, to be able to spit other
Well,
people
that's your
to go.
point. Like these people who you're trying to work with have already done the hard part. They've done something noteworthy, and they have track record, they have resume, but no one knows them yet. So like they did the hardest thing.
They did the hardest thing, and the hardest thing for them is to be able to learn the skill set to be able to get attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be able to be that, and that's what we bring. But it's not for vanity metrics, it's for impact.
For sure.
Some people say, if you earn so much money, you're so successful, why are you selling courses? Or why are you on the internet doing it? Why don't you just be on the golf course, blah, blah, blah. No, let's flip that. Why wouldn't you want people like that out there more?
Yeah.
But God, like, who was he going to listen to? You're going to go listen to some 14-year-old kid saying, here's marriage advice? Like, what's the options here, man?
Yeah. Another reframe. Why does the richest man in the world own a social media platform and tweet like crazy amounts? He posts more than anybody. It's valuable.
It's valuable.
It's valuable to your business. It's valuable to the influence you can create, the impact you can make. Like the smartest people in the world understand its value.
So the valuable people need to be more visible people.
Yeah.
And I think that's key. And what you're doing, bro, I admire.
Thank
I
you.
honestly think the non-for-profit thing, which is such a great cause. For me, it's an expression of being the church.
Yep.
There's the institutional church, which has a lot of the gatherings, and they've got real estate, and there's a whole business model actually that people don't talk about.
Yep.
But it's lovely because there's congregations there, but within it, it's not able to fulfill a lot of the education, and doesn't have the specialties all in one house. It needs Ryans, it needs other people to go, you know, I've actually spent majority of my life with doing a lot of hard things and learn a lot of cool things to be able to share to this community.
Right.
It's not good to be able to expect one dude or one gal who runs a church, we call them pastor, to be a 10 out of 10 in this, and
Yeah.
this, and this.
Yeah.
So anyone who's out there who's going, yeah, I want to serve my people more, I think more than ever they need entrepreneurs around them.
Yeah.
Because in Australia, for example, church attendance is going, there's more churches in Australia than schools.
Wow.
There's more churches in Australia than McDonald's and Hungry Jack's combined.
Wow.
There's more churches in Australia than police stations and hospitals.
I could talk all day about the institutionalization of church and a lot of the problems with it. Because even like for us, we see
Same.
the inefficiency of it, you know, and the cost of all these buildings and things that don't get used more than 1 or 2 days a week.
Kills
like,
me.
There's a lot of problems with that, and we don't even see that in the book of Acts.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, to your point, for what we've been doing, I mean, dude, we're launching Bible studies literally every day across the world, and it costs us nothing. It just takes innovation and a vision and all these things. And so
That
you know,
entrepreneurial spirit I was talking about,
Yeah.
that's what makes it that way.
because I couldn't justify in my mind having a building that cost me millions of dollars that gets used 20% of the time. Like it just makes no business.
And I'm going to grill you in your seat to help pay for it
Yeah,
when you're
like-
struggling as it is as well.
And then even when you think about it too, just the current church model is, and I love the local church. I mean, I tithe, I give to my local church, I do all these things. But you know, then you look at it and it's like, if the model is successful, guess what? We need another building. You know, now 80% of what is given goes towards another building and another building. Like the model just doesn't make sense to begin with. And that's not what we ever saw in Acts either.
Yeah,
It's
it's
something
true.
that started to develop with Catholicism and church tradition and all these things. And so,
So what you're doing is we're meant to serve one another,
yeah.
and you're helping a whole bunch of people, serving them
Well, I mean, with
in,
us,
in
like
a gap.
we take people who give, and it's awesome. And but like literally, none of it goes to a building. Every dollar, and look, I'm not here to say we might get a building one day. So I take that back, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with having an HQ, but I can tell you, my HQ, you already been there. There's a school going on out there right now. There's
It's not
events.
empty all week. That's
no,
for sure.
bro. Like
Yeah.
it would get used, but even then, like the model that we're building is like 90+% of it goes towards impacting people, right? Starting these Bible studies, you know, like all the things that are going to help them grow. Like it doesn't need to go towards facilities.
We're gonna wrap it up there, man. Just want to respect your time.
Yeah.
And we should go again. Whenever you're in Sydney, you'll be my guest.
Yeah.
Come hang out. Love what you do, man. Been loving what you're doing for many years. So it's lovely to meet you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.